Divya, if I can begin with you, you're a tax expert. What are your expectations? Do you think people can be hopeful of some sort of relief, reprieve?
Yes, definitely there should be some relief for the people. We may look at the some slight widening in the income tax slab under the new regime. As we all know, government in the past has been focusing on making the new regime more popular. So with that direction, we may look at further relief or widening of slabs in the new regime, yeah, for sure. And especially when we look at the inflation and how to increase the consumer spending power, I think this is something which we could expect, yeah.
Okay, so we're hoping, of course, that this will come through. And I think the message also that came in from Prime Minister Modi did seem to indicate that there would be something in it for the middle class and the poor. Quickly, opening comments also from our other panelists on what expectations they have from the budget. Mr. Rakesh Nagia, to you first. What are your expectations from the budget? What are the focus areas that you want the government to really talk about?
Good morning, everyone. I think that before we understand the tax exemption we are expecting from the government, let's understand the demographic of the taxpayers. And this will help us in actually gauging it where the relief is desired, where the relief is being expected. Last year, 8.09 tax returns were filed in 23-24, out of which the tax average, which comes to 6.7% of the total taxpayer. There was a time when you see India may 1 or 2% people pays a tax, files the tax returns. So last year, it was close to little less than 7%, which is a very big growth in terms of number is concerned. Any interesting analogy, income till 5 lakhs, there were 5.25 crores tax return were filed. This is 65%. So 65% of the people out of this around 7 crores, 8 crores do not pay any taxes, or they get the rebate and their return is zero. So this is a very important thing to be noted. Second, very important, income from 5 to 10 lakhs. 1.5 crores people paid the taxes, and this is something a very good discovery which I'm going to just share with you. And income above 10 lakhs to 1 crore, another 1 crore people file the tax return. There's a swelling in the middle income group actually. 2 crores people out of this balance left around 3 crore people, the income they was close to 1 crore. And see the demographic filing a return in 1 crore. We never expected that the middle income group is so strong, and why it happened. So I believe it happened because there was a growth in income. That happened because there could be the growth in other income, could be like share income, interest income, property income. That could be one of the reasons the income would have grown because of that. And third, if you see it basically, the income, there was a swelling up actually, there was a growth, economic activity taking place in the country. Last, the income is getting, you see, it is all moved online, everything is moved online. Government is getting the data. The government knows the government is collecting all the data. So they're truly and correctly disclosing it, and the information is getting reported in the 26 AIS, so though you cannot run away with that. And now immediately there's a drop. So that after 1 crore, there's a drop. You see the number of returns filed above 1 to 5 crores were 3.5 lakhs. Above 5 lakhs, it was 58,000, and above 10 crores, it was 31 crores. So basically, before you go anything, you need to see the demographic of the country before the exemption comes out.
Absolutely, yes. Mr. Nangia. Thank you for that opening comment right there. Let me go to Chintan Vasani now, who's partner of Wispace Developers, and he closely tracks the real estate space for us. And that is the big ask, Chintan, clearly. We are going to be seeing whether there are measures for affordable housing for the middle class, for the lower income class. We still see affordability is a big factor. The headlines are coming in that houses worth 100 crore rupees and more are getting sold off in just a single day. But what about affordable housing? The PM-AY scheme, is it enough the way it has been carrying on? We have still seen a very slow start there. A lot of people are still away from not able to access that scheme, and therefore we need some kind of help or some kind of focus on this budget that can revive this scheme so that more and more people are able to take the benefit of this one, Chintan.
Right. So Sakshi, for the very first time in last few years, this has happened that the PMAY flat, the sale of PMAY flats have gone down. Yeah. The major ask by the real estate industry, we had multiple meetings with the finance ministry and, people who are representing the definition of a 45 lakh rupee home in a city is next to impossible to make and then to sell it. So, defining a flat by a number like, 45 lakhs, 60 lakhs, I think it would be much easier if you define it by the square feet. If a house which is less than 600 square feet, that would make much more sense. And that can be defined as affordable. And if that is considered, I'm sure real estate industry and a lot of first time home buyers will be the one who would make the most out of it. The second most important thing, Sakshi, is the deduction on interest under the section. So what happens, Sakshi, is since last 12 years, it has been 2 lakh rupees. Now, Sakshi, even if you consider the basic inflation, that 2 lakh rupees has to go up till 5 to 6 lakhs rupees. Then it will make sense.
But you don't tell me, will there be any changes in the old tax regime? You're talking about the old tax regime and how investors get the deduction in sections over there. I think the big buzzword right now is whether there will be a sunset for the old tax regime. And, the government clearly wants you to not ask them for any exemptions. In fact, they will tell you that, okay, we will tax you less, provided you do not ask us for any exemptions and deductions. How fair is it to really expect the rationalization on deduction on home loans and on interest to come in when the government wants everybody to shift to the new tax regime?
But Sakshi, that has to make sense, right? Like if it was 2 lakh rupees 12 years back, with inflation, it has to go up. And real estate is one industry, Sakshi, which supports 250 plus industries. Automatically steel, cement, multiple industries, the biggest job giver for the country. So, for real estate, it's not only just one industry, but multiple things which are connected. And at the end of the day, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which is a flagship and the most important project for the country, if those numbers, the affordable, you just said houses of 100 crores are selling. But we have to understand in last 15 months, this has happened for the very first time, the sale of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana or affordable housing, that has gone down. So, that requires the government to take the right steps. I'm sure she has got good representation from a lot of people, from a lot of experts. So I'm sure there would be some relief for the section that I'm talking about, the deduction on interest and the definition of a 1 BHK or a definition of an affordable housing that has to be looked down.
Okay, important really to focus on that particular aspect. Also, we'll see what really the government comes in with for the real estate sector. But the challenge here for Nirmala Sitharaman, for the finance minister, is to ensure that she balances growth with fiscal consolidation as well. And here's why. We've been talking about the GDP numbers. Let me run you through what we've seen year on year as far as GDP growth is concerned. Starting off, of course, where you had the GDP growth at about 8.3%. This is 2016 to 2017. Then came down to 6.5%. We were hit with COVID when, of course, the whole world suffered. So you saw the numbers then steadily going down. Minus 5.8%, then to 7%, 8.2%, 6.4%. Now, the economic survey suggests that it's going to be pretty much along the same scale that you're going to see the GDP growth. So here at this stage, for Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, there are a couple of issues. One, of course, the challenge of balancing fiscal prudence also with balancing key voter demographics in the run-up to an election in Delhi. That's something she'll have to focus on, but also on the aspect of growth. We did speak about increasing capex, ensuring private investment also goes up. So for that, you can expect that the finance minister will be making some announcements as well, Sakshi.
Absolutely.